What's up, everybody? I'm Frankie Biggz. Thank you for stopping by to my channel. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Okay, guys. Dimash. We're at it again. One of my favorite artists of all times is Mariah Carey. And I love Mariah because I have a short story about Mariah. And my wife and I were even talking about that. We need to put a series together of all the celebrities we've met and the encounters and funny encounters that we've had with them. We've had a lot of negative encounters with celebrities, but I would never talk about that like that. I'm a little more classier than to start throwing shit at them. Even if they threw shit at me, I'm just not that kind of dude to respond. I think it's crazy. But we've had some really unique and happy experiences. And I know that we're going to have one with Dimash because he's actually coming here in November, I believe. And also, we were invited to a press conference here. When is that press conference?
June 1st.
June 1st, we got invited to go and see Dimash and ask him questions. So this actually brings up a really good question. I'm going to have a chance to ask this guy a question. And although I do have my questions, I'm kind of a new version of the deers, right? But I would rather have you guys ask the question. You know what I mean? Being that I'm going to be in front of the man and I'm going to be able to talk to him, I know that I'll have time to ask him one question, possibly two, and if the planets are all lined up, maybe three. But if you guys could let me know what kind of a question you would like me to ask Dimash. And yes, we're going to film that. That's going to be awesome. So yes, let me know in the comments what questions you would like for me to ask Dimash. All right, so let's get to it. This is The Show Must Go On, and this is a special place in my heart because for those who don't know me, I am a big Queen head. I did the remix, and I'm the only one to do a remix of the Queen track, One Vision. There were a lot of different remixes. There were even different remixes that Queen put out by themselves. I was lucky to actually do, a few years ago, a Queen remix that premiered at festivals and everything. It was great, of One Vision. If you guys don't know, that was the movie One Vision with Louis Gossett Jr. And so, yeah, big deal. So I do love Queen, and I love Freddie Mercury, just like I love George Michael. To me, those two guys are just amazing. So to know that Dimash is about to take on The Show Must Go On, we got to see it. Here we go. Let's count it down. 1, 2, 3.
Spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned places, I guess we know the score. On and on, does anybody know what we are looking for? Another hero, another mind to describe behind the curtains. In the pantomime, hold the line. Does anybody want to take it anymore? Show must go on. Show must go on. Inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. Whatever happens, I leave it all to chase. Another courage, another failed romance. On and on, Does anybody know what we are looking for? Another hero, another mind described behind the curtain in the pantomime. Hold the line. Does anybody want to take it anymore? Show must go on. Show must go on. Inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be plaguing, but my smile still stays on.
Okay. I'll say it like this. Some songs should not be covered. And it doesn't matter the caliber of the artist, how good they are. There are just some songs that artists put out that just belong to that artist. And when bigger artists like this try to cover it, sometimes it shows the cracks in that artist because it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. In this case, this is going to be the best representation of what you could do trying to cover a Freddie Mercury song, because Dimash is killing it. He's making it his own. And that's a risk, because my wife and I just got into this little bit of a rabbit hole discussion about such a thing. There was a drummer back in the days, of course you guys know I'm a drummer. His name was Buddy Rich. Buddy Rich wrote a tune called Time Check. That was one of the most tunes that was most requested, that made Buddy Rich the drummer that he was. He was already a badass. He was the best drummer back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and all that. He was the man. The thing was that when he put out Time Check, he not only did the recording version of it, he also did live versions of it. And every time that this man did that song, it was just unbelievable. Then you have other drummers who were better than him. Dave Weckl. You had, prospectively better, right? Because Buddy Rich was in his lane of his own, which was the big band bebop drumming. Dave Weckl was fusion jazz and everything else. Those guys all worshipped at the altar that was Buddy Rich. So when it came to when Buddy Rich died, and these guys wanted to tribute Buddy Rich by playing the Time Check and everything, that's where you saw the cracks, because they just didn't hit it. David Weckl tried, Neil Peart from Rush tried, you had Greg Bissonette tried, you had a lot of drummers try, even recently some bebop drummers, but it just doesn't come off the same, and it doesn't do well. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, for musicians, we go, nice try. You probably shouldn't have tried to do that, because no one can play Buddy Rich's Time Check but Buddy Rich. I feel this way about George Michael's, and I absolutely feel this way about Queen, about Freddie Mercury. If there was any person that was going to cover Freddie Mercury, it would have to be Dimash. What do I think about him covering it? Not going to know until the very end, but I'll say so far, I'm super impressed, but I'll leave more of my comment to the end. You guys stick around. Let's get to it. Here we go.
My soul is painted like the wings of butterflies. Fairy tales of yesterday, recall but never die. I get blind, my God.
Did the conductor just play? Did I just skip that? Did I just miss that?
Miss what?
I think the conductor turned around with a violin, didn't play it like this, played it this way, and did a guitar solo.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Let's keep it going. Here we go. Risky, risky, risky.
Thank you very much.
You think you're a badass singer until you try to take on some Freddie Mercury. That's all I can say. Freddie Mercury ain't no joke. And a lot of people very underrated in so many ways. And just now, people are starting to find out like this dude was on another planet. Dimash, great job, man. That's all I can tell you. I'll say it like this. I've heard a lot of people try to cover this tune and they fail miserably. Just the way they tried to sing Rhapsody, Bohemian Rhapsody. They sound like easy songs to sing until your ass till you stand there and actually try to belt these tunes out. It ain't easy. And I'll say that you did an exceptional job at doing and covering Freddie Mercury. In the beginning, I was a little like, oh no. You know what I mean? Like, there was a couple things. But the whole point of it is that you can't judge a singer that's covering another person's song too hard. Because, of course, you have that, what we in the industry call demo love, right? We're used to hearing it one way and hearing it only that way, especially people that we adore and love so much. So when another person tries to attempt to sing that, we don't give it a shot. In this way, I'll say it like this. If there was anybody that was going to cover Freddie Mercury, it's going to be Dimash. He did an exceptional job. Great job, of course. And I think towards the end, it got a little better. I just feel like Dimash lives in those, in the high clouds. You know what I mean? The high note clouds. And it's, for some reason, and it's crazy, you know, the higher you go in life, in reality, if you were to take off and go into the air, the higher you go, the less air you have. And that's not a big difference between singing. The higher you go in your notes, the less air. You're using much more air because you're using more energy and more of your body parts to hit these parts. We already know that this man has an amazing range, right? But so did Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean? And Freddie Mercury was able to hit notes in certain patterns that were just not easy because he always thought in an operatic way, even with anything that he did. So, but great job, Dimash, man. You're proving that you can even tackle tough songs like this. I will say it is Dimash's version. Let's just say that. And that version of this song definitely belongs to Dimash in the way that he sings, the way that Freddie Mercury has his own version. Other than that, both of them are great. Of course, I'm going to always favor Freddie Mercury. But Dimash, homie, awesome job. Great energy. Great band. I was very surprised, and it took me a minute to process what I had just seen. But that whole part with the conductor breaking down a guitar solo on a freaking violin, wow. And he didn't even put it like this. He actually played it upright. I mean, you guys, the whole Dimash team is just full of surprises, and you guys won't put anything out until you know that it's super cool to look at, and I really appreciate that. So with that said, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to ask questions. We're going to be picking out the top 3 questions that I can ask Dimash, and so let me know. Let me know what you'd like to do and what we'd like for me to ask this guy. So Until then, thank you for stopping by. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Peace.